Alright, hello everybody and welcome on back to some When Login Issues Strike. I'm your host A-Rye and we got a little sidetracked here. So if you'll notice on the map, I'm a little off of the map. Like if we were to go back towards the map proper, like we're still off the map. I mean, I think once we cross the water, we'll actually be in that like taiga. I think it's taiga? I don't even know. Like the grasslands or whatever, the acacia tree areas. So, and yeah, working from home today. There's no heat in the office, so IT's kind of like, yeah, we're not gonna go in today. But I mean, I'm always around, and that's the cool thing about working in a hybrid office is like a lot of people don't show up. I mean, but yet a lot of work gets done, ton of work. In fact, I would argue more work gets done in a remote setting because a lot of the inefficiencies, and that's one of the most important things that I learned in those business classes that I took for my minor in business administration. Oh, sorry, real quick, let me finish that. So I went and built a side base because I wanted to smelt all that iron, and now I have 56 blocks of iron, almost a stack of blocks, just from our little excursion into those caves. So, anyways, that's a lot of iron. I don't usually see that until after several episodes worth of playing and grinding and mining. So. And even then, caves just seem to have so much more because you see all the exposed rock. But anyways, so yeah, I found this little village and I was like, all right, I'll improve upon it, build some stuff here. I started building a wall to protect them against the illagers, and that wall is going to go all the way around. But yeah, it's taking a lot of bricks though. I mean, and I've been luckily it's a 1-to-1 ratio on those types of sandstone bricks, or they're not chiseled. I think they're smooth. I don't know. No, not smooth because those are the. Anyways, so but opportunity costs, and that's why a lot of businesses are switching more to remote, especially in the midst of COVID, is because it's just more efficient. Like if your workers don't have to drive or commute, they don't have to get dressed in their fancy wear. I mean, or at least even if they do, they just have to have something nice for their meetings. But even then, like our own personal dress code is we have to wear pants in the office, but we can wear shorts remotely because nobody sees from the waist down. You're just sitting at a computer. So, um, anyway, so it's good. But yeah, I'm really liking this place for a base. Like it's got some beautiful scenery. If you go back over here, you can see this giant mountain sand thing. I just love these types of structures. They're so interesting. And this is also like the start of the river, I want to say. It's like as you can look on the mini map, the river goes all the way up and around, and I'll have to explore that little area to see if it connects. But even if it doesn't connect, I can make it connect. And then if I go down that way, in fact, I can see the jungles from here, and that's where I wanted to build the main base. So it would be just kind of like a trickling of settlements. Is that some lava? Nice. But anyways, and then we're kind of getting back into like this is how you get back to our main base. It'd be up there quite a ways, up closer to Origin. So, anyways, yeah. And so the world. Hmm. Well, real quick, this is what I've started because I wanted to continue that wall and all sorts of rabbit stuff. I need to heal up my pickaxe actually, and really get on with the exploration. So we'll go ahead and remember that this is here, or try to. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and leave all this stuff. I mean, maybe take this and this slime, the sunflowers. Make sure all of these are. Yeah, I had all of these cooking at the same time, like an entire. Excuse you. And they have spruce. Oh wait, I need to make sure. Okay, good. That I have the spruce, which is funny that there are leaves like that because blue spruce are actually a pine tree that have the more squarish, triangular shaped needles. Like they're the blocky needles or the thick needles with sharp or flat edges. So if you roll them between your fingers, you can kind of. And that's only from a high school ecology class. I'd like to go and study plants and trees a little more, just kind of be a little more understanding of nature. But like around here in Colorado, we have a bunch of lodgepole pines A lot of pine trees in general. The ponderosa pine, the pinyon pine, the blue spruce. Blue spruce is easiest to see because the needles actually look like they have a tint of blue. Like if you pluck a needle off and look at it, it looks blue. So it's blue spruce, and it's a very common pine tree. So then you got ponderosa pine, which I believe those are the ones that have the needles in bunches, and then really long, thin needles. And yeah, and lodgepole pines, those are just easier to see because on average they end up being just really tall and slender trees. They look like perfect for a lodgepole. Like I mean, I think that's why they got their name is because it's a pole that you could build a lodge out of or a log cabin very easily. So yes. Anyways, back to opportunity cost. So when you take into consideration all the factors that go into commuting, you got to get dressed up. You know, if you're a woman, you might put on makeup, like, or if you're a guy, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to judge, but more likely, the percentage chance is more likely a woman's going to put on makeup and take extra time to do that, to do their hair. I mean, that's actually part of why I shave my head regularly, is because I don't want to worry about hair. Like, it's annoying. It uses a lot of shampoo. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it looks good, but yeah, not really going for looks. I'm going for happiness in my life and in the lives of those around me, all the way around the world. So, oh, and foo funds. I think I've got even better ideas for that. So, just nonprofit loans. Like, that's an easier term for people to kind of wrap their minds around. Let's see. Oh, okay, I do still have my boat. Okay. But just if you, and I feel like credit unions are slowly getting there, but I mean, like Canvas is a credit union here in northern Colorado that I see a lot of. And I see a lot of like fancy locations, like brick and mortar shops for them. And so, I mean, that's going to cost money. And then, so I wonder, like, yeah, credit union, like, of the people, like, the people lending money to themselves, but they're still, like, the rates are still comparable. I mean, at least I'm pretty sure. Watch, like, I'm completely wrong, and all the best loans have just been at credit unions this whole time at 0 to, like, 1.5% interest. But nonprofit doesn't mean that, like, the employees don't get paid. Nonprofit means that just the employees get paid. Like, there's nothing up over the top. Like, there's no revenue stream. It's just, you do the thing, your workers get paid, the workers go home. That's it. And in fact, I wonder why not every business is like that. You know, like as long as the workers are getting paid and the workers get all their benefits and like, then what's the difference? We don't see the difference. The difference is the people at the top that made the company. Well, phooey on that. It goes back to how religion used to be reliant on like kings and rulers and like a royal family that was trained to lead, that knew how to lead. And now anybody can get the education to lead. In fact, many people don't have educations and are great leaders. Like um, I'm thinking like sports coaches. A lot of coaches, perfect leaders. Like they could, well, not perfect, but amazing leaders without any formal education. They just, I mean, I don't know. Well, there's still some education, like through the school, through the athletics programs, through there are advisors, there are other coaches to talk to, and you know, there's that, and especially if you're involved in such things like that, then you kind of tend to learn the tricks of the trade. So we have a lot of coaches here in Northern Colorado, a lot of like kids leagues and stuff, and between Loveland and Foco. So anyways, my point about that is we don't need some mystical fantasy like wealthy family or nice trained family or a family that's done it forever to be leaders. The people, the meek shall inherit the earth because the meekest of people can now have internet and a computer. And with those tools, they can become just as smart as anyone else. They have access to all the same data that everyone else has, and then some, because the open source community and movement, a bunch of old hippies, myself included. I'm not that old yet. I mean, I'm like mid 30, actually almost 37. I forgot about that. I thought I was 35 this whole year. No, I was 36. That's okay. I mean, there's nothing really to look forward to now. I guess like the big 4-0 and then the big 5-0 and then, I'll go buy a sports car or something. I don't know. But for now, like, um, yeah, it's just. Sorry, I also got to keep an eye on the time because even though I don't have to drive anywhere, I do need to be at my desk and working here soon. So after this episode, I'll be making dreams come true. No, just kidding. I'll be troubleshooting things and fixing tech problems, and there's not really a whole lot. It's nice. Like, not only did I join this company at a great time, but also being in IT at a great time when everything's on the internet. You don't have to pour through a bunch of pages of books to find like solutions to problems or to see how a particular tech stack or software works or is supposed to work. And everybody's a lot more tech savvy than back in the day because of that reason. The meek are definitely inheriting the earth, and not to get too biblical because I know that makes a lot of people's eyes rolls, myself included. Like I get a little inundated, saturated, overloaded. Like I've got this one buddy on the Facebooks who is all about Jesus, all about Christianity, and like he's a born again Christian, like had a rough life, religion was there for him, and that's great. I'm not saying like it shouldn't be. It's just I feel like a lot of it is too. You moved on from like opiates to Jesus. Like it's an addicting crutch or something, to where if you were to, have that crutch kicked out from under you, would you be okay? Would you like? I don't know. And I guess that might be a little too harsh of an idea because everybody's gonna have their faith and belief. Like you can have your belief shaken, you can have it convinced that not. But I mean, a lot of people are finding that most people live in the middle area. Like, well, I mean, believing in a God is nice, and if there is a God, oh wait, I don't have any dirt. I can fix that. Okay, let's try to keep it to where it looks mostly natural. But anyways, being an atheist or being non-religious doesn't necessarily mean that you don't believe there's a God. You just oftentimes believe that there's a lot less of a chance that there's a God, and I'm not going to devote myself to that until there's proof. Like no taxation without representation. That's the whole point of this country. Was we were a colony from England and we were doing all the work here and making this a nice place. We had the funding from England, but it was too hard to have people like, all right, well, we're going to ship over some leaders or something. I don't know. It was like, that was it. We were like the pod people that came over and we were separated from the mainland, and they were taxing us. They were making us send, basically repay for all that and send goods and services and yeah, to pay for the whole experiment. So, all right, now we can bridge across. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. That's such a game changer too, knowing that you can crouch and not fall off of a block. I remember I was playing with my cousin and like I made a stairway because I wanted to build it to build height, or at least like as high as it could go. Well, which is build height, but I didn't know that at the time. I was just like, I want to see how tall I can make this stairway, and so I built a stairway in the middle of no. Well, it was our base, and then it went like up and up and up and up, and I think it was only about as tall as that mountain. Honestly, like from the base of that mountain, like there to there, that's about how big my stairway was. And I was building it with a bunch of columns. I would like tower up like this, just like all the way up. And so I could build the next couple of spaces, and then I would break the dirt column back down, and then tower up a few blocks further so I could reach even further in the stairway. And then I see my cousin just squatting, building a bridge across a bunch of lava. I was like, how did you? I don't know. That's why I love this game, is because I mean, and even if you watch someone like Waddles, which explains all the game mechanics and basically like is a great guide to like the game inside and out, including every update, every detail of every update, like it's awesome. You can still find out things on your own and be have those aha moments, which those happen a lot in computer science and programming. Aha moments are just oof, especially the longer you've banged your head against the wall on a particular bug or problem. You're just like, why is this not working? It should work. Like, and then you'll find out why it's not working. It's like, oh, okay. And it's often a facepalm moment, but an aha moment because then it's like, ah, yes, it works great. I made something. I can see it working. Like, this is awesome. And yeah, and kind of to a point, chemistry too with Walter White. Like when he's working with Gale, Gale's like, sorry, it's just it was just always magical. And then Walter's like, it is magical, Gale. It is. And just science, like the amazing wonder of our world, our universe, our galaxy, all of it, all of the above. Oh, I almost didn't make that one. All right. So, we gotta kind of make our way back left. Ugh, even though, yeah, go left, but don't die. So, I only got like another 10 minutes or so anyway. 10, 15. Oof, that looks okay. Ah, half of my health though, so only one of those. Anyways, and more people are finding that out, that remote work, when possible, it's not always possible, and like IT, that's a thing. Like, in fact, I'm a little concerned about that. Oh, let's see. Dang it, I was reading something. Sorry, this is actually pertains to. Yeah, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure because we're a very loose organization, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna do remote too, but I'm still, and that's just me, because like I've worked a lot of jobs, and this is a foreign concept. I've never been able to just stay home and do my work, but if I think back through my jobs, and I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna post. I already have it in a few places. I've got it on my link, well, not on my LinkedIn, but I've had like documents where I write down all the different jobs I've had, because it's important to understand. Like, I mean, if you want to get to where I'm at in life or somewhere similar, like a tech degree, a tech career, if you want to work in IT, if you want to be a software developer, you want to be a database maintainer or a database admin or a system anything, it's like this is one way. This is one pathway. It's not the only way, and it's not the right way or the wrong way. It's just a way. Way. So, and I feel like, in my efforts to try to teach computer science, it's important that I drill that home because, and my first job out of college was a software developer, and I did okay. I didn't build a lot of things. It was more like a glorified IT technician that had to be on the spot, troubleshooting things and looking through documents and trying to find solutions. And which, granted, as I say that, it would have been fine if I was a little more social with the other people, but I kept thinking, I need to develop software. I'm a software developer. I need to help fix bugs, change things. And I think I only changed a couple of things it was only a year too. I worked there a year. I had to drive all the way across town. I guess that was the painful part, is my work could have been 100% at home, but I was still, green behind the ears. I was a young buck. I was like a fresh person right out of college. Like, and there's still that party lifestyle in college. Um, and yeah, which I don't know. Now I go to like kids' birthday parties for my kids, like when they're with their friends, and that's about as much partying as I care for. Anyways, we won't even get into that. But um, yeah, computer science. I mean, I flipped burgers, and not even burgers. I was the little grill. My first. Yeah, let's do that. Let's run through my job. So my first job was at Kay's Dairy Delight. I worked at it was old-fashioned hamburgers and soft serve ice cream, kind of like Dairy Queen. It was like a Dairy Queen that had better burgers. I've never had a burger from Dairy Queen, but I'm a little biased because I worked at Kay's. But and also I remember the owners back when I first started working there. Um, the one owner, Charlie, rest in peace. He's no longer with us, but he used to tell us all the time about why, or he'd tell customers too, I guess. Like, and he's kind of had a drinking problem. Like, he'd have a little bit of the sauce, and then he'd go around and talk with the customers. Like, normally he'd be like cooking and like grilling, or he did the fries. So like he was right next to the fryer, and so he'd drop fries, drop onion rings, and then his wife Lois would be cooking the burgers, just sweating over a grill all day, just like cooking burgers, cooking burgers. And like she was tough. But like I love those people. They were like basically like my adopted grandparents. And they even wrote me a letter of recommendation to get into CSU, and I worked there all 4 years in high school. I mean, yeah, it was a great job. But I started as little grill, which meant I would toast the hot dog buns, and I would basically supply the cooks, like the grillers. I would make sure they had what they needed. Like I'd go get them more packs of meat for the burgers, just so they didn't have to leave their stations, and just kind of assist, and then take orders up, call them out. That one took a while because I was so shy and I was a chubby kid and I was just like I didn't want to go up there and like call out the orders. And of course we did this thing where it was old movie stars and musicians. It was famous people like Peekaboo Street and Janis Joplin and I can't even remember a lot of them, but like or Cary Grant or I don't know. And they would get all excited because these were the famous people from their time. And then the customers would get excited because it's like, oh yeah, I remember my parents loved these people or something, so they related to it with their generation. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go get that iron. So, anyways, it was great, and it taught me a lot of job skills. Like, I was even driving their cars to go pick up stuff, like a Corvette and like a Range Rover. I had my license, by the way. This was when I had my license, like the second half of my high school career. But yeah, and we had a storage place across the way that would house our overstock like hamburger buns and stuff. And so every few days we'd have to go over there and restock our like on-site cooler with like a whole rack of hamburger buns and all of that. So it was a pretty cool setup. So and of course I worked with like my buddies. I found my first girlfriends there. Lost my virginity there. Not there, but like, working, socializing with people. And when you spend hours and hours and hours with someone every day, day in, day out, romantic things end up happening. So, which isn't good advice. You should really try to separate out, like, workplace romances aren't a good idea when you get into your career job. But when you're in your high school job, who cares? I mean, it's a little less of a taboo. So, anyways, so there was K's Dairy Delight, and that was great. And then I eventually worked my way up to working up front. Like, oh yeah, because like I said, I was shy, and it took them a long time. It was like pulling teeth to get me to go and like call out names and then hand people their food. And they'd be all excited. They'd be like, yes, that's my food. And it didn't matter what you did. You could call them Ronald McDonald. Like, I mean, they'd still be like, okay, that's weird, but thanks for my food. See ya. And of course, Charlie liked to go do it because when he had time, when it wasn't super busy, because he was constantly leaving his wife to keep cooking all the food, then he'd go up and schmooze with the customers, reminisce about the good old days, about these famous people and how great their movies were and all that. Look, more sea turtles. Go to the water. Go to the ocean. Go, sea turtle, go. Yeah, that's never gonna get old. So cute. Anyways. Oh, and another Illager. I think that's the same one, actually. Oh, whoops. I was gonna say, did I lose my boat? Okay. You can see the moon has a different shade. It's a different cycle of moon. Oh, and I did miss some there. How? Anyway, so there was K Zero delay all 4 years. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year of high school. Actually, not senior. That the summer of my senior year, I didn't work at Case. I think that's right. So I only did there 3 seasons. Um, but then I liked money so much, I started thinking, wow, maybe I should work during the school year too. And so I got a part-time job as a dishwasher at a restaurant and a busser. And I remember that was around the time I broke my hand riding a wheelie. I fell over a bike and then I broke my hand, and so I was like bussing with a cast. But and that was also good because then I learned how to wash dishes, at least in an industrial setting. And I had to do it right. They would like watch and be like, no, 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 this is still dirty. Go ahead and do it again or whatever. Like, or you see this, you need to clean this. And I also did dishes at the burger joint too. I mean, I washed all the knives and cookware and stuff, and that was part of the little grill. Like, I did the supplying and the dishwashing, basically, and cooking of certain things. Oh, and the Texas toast too. We had a chicken finger basket that you get 5 strips for the main basket and some fries and a toast. Or if you got the kids basket, you'd get 3 and some fries, but not a toast. So it was a very quaint little place that worked. Um, and then now you got places like Cane's here in Foco. So I mean, sorry. So those jobs worked a bunch of restaurant stuff in high school, and then also worked construction my senior year. Um, and then worked at a ski resort during the winters of my senior, not my senior year, I think. How did that work out? I did 3 seasons. I really don't remember because, like, I think I was in college in 2009. Anyways, so restaurant, and then a summer of construction, which was also really great. It was fun working with my hands and building things. I was a framer, so I did the wood construction, like the inner construction. Oh, I like that. For new houses, and then someone else would come in and do the drywall, and then the siding, and then the finishing, and all that. Like, but I'd build the actual like inside skeleton of the house, basically. So without tying off, OSHA would go crazy with what we did. And actually, the company ended up being the owner of the company fled to like the Cayman Islands or something with all the money, and left a lot of housing projects like unfinished, and left a lot of people high and dry. And that was after I'd already left, but it was pretty bad deal. Oh, that's a fancy village. Yeah, I'm liking this map square. I don't even know what to call this because it's not a grid. A grid is like a little section of, I don't know, like 32 blocks by 32 blocks, I think, something like that. All right, anyways, so, and I did odd jobs too, like help people move, like do a little landscaping for someone's, like my parents' friends or something, but those were the main jobs. Kay's Dairy Delight. Oh, and then when I worked up front, I'd take people's orders and make the ice cream. So that was like basically working in a Dairy Queen. Um, yeah, it's still kind of shy, but like, ice cream was easier than making the food, but it also paid a lot less. I think I started at 5.15 as Little Grill. Yeah, $5.15 an hour. So yeah, and then actually, it's almost time to go. Well, no, 3 minutes. All right, so let's hustle through it. So then in college, I worked for the apartment complex that I lived in. I was actually resident manager, and which means I did a bunch of maintenance. I was lockout services, so I had a master key. So if anyone got like lost their keys or got locked out of their house, I'd let them in. I was also security, but basically like I was just supposed to call the cops if it needed it or go investigate. And I was still a pretty big guy. Like I was, safe enough. And people liked me. People respected me for the most part. And then worked at Subway for 5 years in college. I'm trying to think. There's other jobs in there too. And that was just all before I got my degree. So 5 years at Subway, 3 years at K's, 3 seasons at Monarch, the ski resort, a couple of winters at River Valley Inn, which is a restaurant that no longer exists. It turned into Sophie's, and I don't even think Sophie's exists anymore. But it was just a restaurant. I was, dishwasher, prep cook. Oh yeah, and then I worked at the Gunsmoke truck stop as a prep cook, and eventually I started training as a line cook. But then I was ready to head off to college, and funny thing about that, after I left there, the owners of that restaurant got arrested by the federal marshals on some insurance fraud stuff that they had done back home. I think in like Florida or something. So it's kind of weird. The construction place I worked for after I left, like there was, it's like, I swear I'm not like the devil in Diablo that every town I go to, like there's just like desolation and death and all that. Like, so, anyways, and then college jobs, like I did all that just to get my degree, like to pay for it. I saved up a lot of money, several thousands of dollars, bought my car with cash for 5,400, I think it was. Yeah, because I think I put 1,700 down for the down payment, then I just paid it off with a check shortly after that. So that's why I kind of get it split in my head. But and another village. Look at this. So, but yeah, everybody should have a job, should work, but at the same time, we need to make it to where people can still enjoy life, and so you get the good feeling of a good day's work because it does feel good. Like I mean, to know that you helped a team, you helped further some goals, you get a kudos or a good job. It's great. So yeah. Anyways, let's see. And actually, we got like a minute left, so let's just chill here. Chill at this villaggio, and I'll finish exploring this probably. Well, not today. I got the kids, so I'll be working, and then I have the kids, so I'll do some more videos this weekend, and maybe not even Friday. I've got a concert I need to go to, an orchestra concert. So yeah, well, and then post college, software developer for a year, IT technician, frontline as a contractor. No, first call center, and then they found out I had a tech degree, and then they moved me to one of their tech clients, and then I did that. Got hired directly. Found out they weren't paying very well at all, and then left. Went and built wind turbine blades for almost 2 years, and that was great. Paid more than the IT job, and I was getting You know, I was having a fun time and working with my hands again. That's just fun, like heavy lifting and really hard work. My hands got pretty strong. And then worked at a noodles and company for a summer. Worked at a welding supply warehouse for like 3 months. That job was horrible. I mean, they were nice people, but it was just basically lifting heavy things and putting them on carts to be picked for orders. And then, anyways, and then my current job, IT for higher education and a study abroad school. So that's awesome. I mean, I'm going to stay here for many years to come. So, in fact, speaking of that, I'm going to get to it. So, ta ta, have a great day, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.